Good evening and a very warm welcome. You're watching the Urban Debate with me, Pratibha Chandran. Thank you for joining us. The big story of the day, Gujarat has stepped up its anti-radicalization efforts as the state police operationalize dedicated cells across all districts and police commissionerates. Now, the Gujarat police say that these cells will focus on identifying, preventing and countering radicalization while combining intel gathering with the community engagement. Now, the Gujarat police has also rejected those charges, maintaining that this initiative is driven by national security concerns and is not aimed at any particular community. Now, in a major counter-terror operation, the Gujarat ATS has also arrested 5 accused linked to the banned Pakistan-based terror outfit Jaish-e-Mohammed from different parts of the state. Now, during the briefing, the ATS also revealed key details from the investigation. Officials say that Jaish-e-Mohammed flags letter addressed to Masood Azhar and suspected Pakistani links. All of these recovered during their probe. The ATS is also alleged that the accused had purchased a house on the outskirts, procured explosive-related material, and learnt bomb-making techniques through JEM literature and guidebooks.
एक इन्फॉर्मेशन को डेवलप किया गया था और एक एफआईआर यूएपी और बीएनएस के अंतर्गत दर्ज की गई थी, जिसमें कि लगभग 8 आरोपियों को अरेस्ट किया गया था। इन 8 आरोपियों के हमें 14 दिन के रिमांड मिले थे। इन 8 आरोपियों का जब इंट्रोगेशन किया गया और इनके घर पे जब सर्चेज की गई तो इसके अंदर हमें जैश-ए-मोहम्मद के फ्लैग, मौलाना मसूद अजहर की किताबें और इन आरोपियों के द्वारा जो मसूद अजहर को लिखे गए खत थे वो सब मिले। साथ साथ में टेरर फंडिंग के लिए इनके पास जो पैसा आया था उसमें से भी 1,30,000 की रिकवरी की गई। इन लोगों में डिटेल इंट्रोगेशन में इनके फोन के ऊपर से बहुत सारे पाकिस्तानी कनेक्शंस मिले। इन लोगों की जो टास्किंग की जा रही थी, गाड़ी परचेज करना, एक घर के आउटस्कर्ट्स में लेना, इन सब के बारे में भी जो तथ्य हैं वो ड्यूरिंग इन्वेस्टिगेशन जानने को मिले।
So now that the Gujarat police have spoken about this anti-radicalization cell, how is it going to work and what are going to be the key objectives of this? Now, here is what the police officials say. They say that the objective of this cell is to prevent extremism from taking root and to identify vulnerable individuals early on before it's too late. Going on to say that those vulnerable individuals can be identified, they can be given counseling and rehabilitation, and then legal action can be taken based on the evidence that is collected by the people who are part of this. But of course, on expected lines, a political row has also erupted over the Gujarat government's anti-radicalization cell, because the Congress party and the Samajwadi party have accused the BJP of promoting religious profiling, alleging that people could be targeted based on their religion. The SP has also questioned the role of the police in implementing the move, while the BJP has defended the initiative as a security measure against radicalization.
देखिए, ये बहुत ही गंभीर और संवेदनशील विषय है। क्या किसी राज्य की इंटेलिजेंस की स्टैंडिंग ऑपरेटिंग प्रोसीजर किसी व्यक्ति के पहनावे, उसके वेशभूषा को आधार बना करके उसको चिन्हित किया जा सकता है? क्या किसी के धार्मिक पहचानों की निशानदेही करके उसे आतंकवादी घोषित किया जा सकता है? ये बहुत महत्वपूर्ण सवाल है, लेकिन दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण ये है कि जो देश के प्रधानमंत्री जी ने एक चुनावी भाषण में कहा, आज उसको एक राज्य की पुलिस फोर्स अपनाने जा रही है।
देखिए, मुझे लगता है भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार, ये कोई सरकार नहीं है। भारतीय जनता पार्टी केवल एक राजनीतिक दल नहीं है, बल्कि मुझे लगता है ये देशद्रोही लोग हैं। इस तरह की हरकत करना, भारत पहले ही विविधताओं का देश है, हजारों जातियां हैं, अनेकों धर्म हैं, अनेकों भाषाएं, अनेकों संस्कृति बोलने वाले लोग हैं। जो लोग पहले एकजुट के साथ मिल के रहे थे, आपस में मिलजुल के एक भारत बना था, एक गुलदस्ता बना था, ये उस गुलदस्ते को बिखेर देना चाहते हैं। ये जाति और धर्म के नाम पर ही राजनीति करती है बीजेपी। ये इन्होंने धर्म का इस्तेमाल करके सत्ता तो पा ली, लेकिन अब ये उस सत्ता पाने के बाद उन्हीं की आस्था की इन्होंने हत्या की है। ये चढ़ावा चोर लोग, विधायक चोर लोग, सांसद चोर लोग, पार्टी चोर लोग अब अगर धर्म के आधार पर ऐसे आइडेंटिफिकेशन करेंगे, उनकी पहचान करेंगे, और क्या जांच एजेंसी इसी काम के लिए बची हैं? देश के ऊपर हमले होते हैं, वहाँ जब पुलवामा का आज तक तुमने पता नहीं लगाया कि कौन है, आज तक गिरफ्तार नहीं कर पाए। तो आप कैसे लोग हो, कैसे ऐसे लोग अगर मतलब देश में अगर ऐसे लोगों का शासन होगा तो देश बचेगा कैसे? जो खुद ही मतलब धर्म के नाम पे अगर नफरत फैलाएंगे तो देश बचेगा कैसे? सवाल ये है। ऐसी राजनीति का फायदा क्या है? कोई परमानेंट है, अजर अमर है? कोई कुर्सी लेके पैदा हुआ, कुर्सी लेकर मरेगा क्या? कुर्सी तो एक दिन सबकी जानी है, मोदी जी की भी जाएगी।
ये कहना कि अगर कोई नौजवान दाढ़ी रख रहा है या कोई औरत बुर्का पहन रही है या ये कोई रमज़ान में इतिकाफ कर रहा है या मस्जिद में जा रहा है तो उसको हम नोटिस करेंगे। हम समझते हैं कि गलत है। अगर कोई अपने धर्म का पालन करता है, मुसलमानों के लिए दाढ़ी रखना एक अच्छी अलामत है और ये उनके रसूल की हदीस है कि दाढ़ी रखो। तो अगर ये चीज़ें अगर वो करते हैं तो इसके बुनियाद पर उनके खिलाफ कार्रवाई करना बात समझ में नहीं आती। ये अप्रोच जो है बिल्कुल गैर यानी एकतरफा है।
हिंदू मुसलमान, इसके अलावा कुछ नहीं आता इन्हें, इसके अलावा कुछ नहीं आता। हिंदू मुसलमान करेंगे और हिंदुओं की जेब काट लेंगे। हिंदुओं की तो जेब काट रहे हैं, मुसलमान पे तो पैसे ही नहीं बेचारे पे। जेब तो हिंदुओं की कट रही, बहुसंख्यकों की कट रही, तो फैसला इनको करना है।
लेकिन आपको लग रहा है कि एक कम्युनिटी को टारगेट करने की कोशिश कहीं ना कहीं?
हाँ बिल्कुल, हिटलर ने भी तो यही किया था, एक कम्युनिटी को टारगेट करके नफरत खेल रहा था। वो हिटलर की आगे की पॉलिसी है अपना रहे हैं, और क्या है इसके अलावा।
मूर्खों के हाथ में जब सत्ता होती है तो देश को बहुत सारी समस्या से गुजरना पड़ता है। और सीधी सी बात यह है कि यह अराजकता हम इस देश में इसलिए देख रहे हैं क्योंकि सरकार ही अराजक है। अब आप मुझे बताइए कि सरकार तमाम चीज़ों को छोड़ करके, जितने जरूरी बुनियादी मुद्दे हैं उसको छोड़ करके इसी तरह की चीज़ों में इन्वॉल्व रहती है। देश सुरक्षित हाथ में नहीं है, लुटेरों के हाथ में है। और जो कहते थे कि मैं भी चौकीदार, वही बने मोदी का परिवार और वही लोग हैं इस लूट के हिस्सेदार। इसीलिए जनता इन सवालों पर सवाल नहीं पूछे तो यह सरकार हमेशा डिफ्लेक्शन करते रहती है।
Now, the BJP has defended Gujarat's Anti-Radicalization Cell, saying the move is aimed at ensuring security in a border state and preventing elements from creating tension. Hitting back at the Congress and those who are criticizing this move, the BJP accused the opposition of politicizing the issue and taking a soft stance on terror.
कोई भी रेडिकलाइज ना हो, ये सरकार की भी तो जिम्मेदारी है। कल कोई रेडिकलाइज हो और हमें पता ही ना हो, तो इस देश के बॉर्डर स्टेट है गुजरात, और वहाँ पे पूरा नज़र अपने जनता पे रखना होता है। कोई तनाव पैदा करने के लिए अगर रेडिकल होना चाहे तो उस पर नज़र तो रखना जिम्मेदारी है, इसलिए सरकार उस पर काम कर रही है।
When the Gujarat police apparently has come out with certain SOPs to tackle radicalization, and even before knowing the full facts, Congress and left are once again down to villainizing Gujarat police, and they are again eulogizing and coming in defense of terrorists. Why do they have a soft corner for terror? In BJP Virod, they will start doing Modi Virod to such an extent that they go to Desh Virod.
Now, the central question or the main issue with it, and that's what we're going to be debating, is whether this is actually a way of countering extremism in the state, or is it only enforcing a more pronounced religious profiling, and because that becomes problematic. Joining us on the broadcast, Mr. R. Rajagopalan, senior journalist, Momita Chakrabarti, political analyst. Also with us, Tausif Ahmed Khan, lawyer and political analyst, as well as Professor Atikur Rahman, political analyst. And Mr. Rajagopalan, I want to begin with you on how this framework is going to work, because there are a lot of concerns. Some of the SOPs that have been mentioned also mention issues like growing a beard, and that is one of the tenets that has been mentioned here as a behavioral change. When did it become unlawful? Does it not bring in more religious profiling when you say that this can be called behavioral change when a person wears a niqab or somebody decides to grow a beard?
Pratibha, you and me come from South India. You are from Karnataka. I am from Tamil Nadu. In hijab, what happened? Why should Karnataka government make hue and cry on hijab? Both the state, BJP and Congress, both the parties. So therefore, there is a security concern of that particular state. For example, in every state, they have got a standard operating procedure for anything. And here, the intelligence have said that this particular radicalization is taking place. For example, for Congress or communists, for that matter, even Muslim League communities, they make hue and cry for every standard operating procedure, and they linked it to Muslim and Hindu, RSS, BJP, People's Popular Front of India, like that. Simply, I'm asking, it's a state concern, safety and security of the fellow citizen. You can make this thing. Hindu may be affected, Muslim may be affected, but police has a duty. And moreover, as you mentioned, it's a state, bordering state with Pakistan. We have to be very careful. Radicalization is taking place to the core in India now, especially after 2014. Things are not good in Indian politics. Second, FCRA, Foreign Contribution Regulation Act, that has been now somehow being given redrafted. Immediately they concern Christian, Muslim ka paisa rok rahe, kaisa rok rahe. Even Hindu temples are affected. Second, Priyank Karge, Home Minister of Karnataka, wrote a letter to RSS chief saying that produce your standard operating procedure, what you are doing, what is the drill you are doing, like that. When Karnataka can question that, Gujarat police also can question.
No.
The beard or no
Mr.
beard.
Rajagopalan, there are worries about terrorism, no doubt about that, and there are concerns. There should be intel reports, all of it agreed upon. But the question is on the framework that has been made by the Gujarat police, and I just want to read out a bit on what the SOPs actually mean when they say behavioral change, and you can tell me whether this is problematic. Mr. Rajagopalan, the question is, does it really become problematic or an indication that somebody has become extreme? Because it says suddenly growing a beard, wearing a niqab, frequent use of Arabic words, and also reducing contact with friends and family, and expressing intense protest against global events affecting the Muslim countries. Does it become wrong? Because there are many students, there are many people who are opinion about such issues. They're taking to social media. Does it now become unlawful?
I go by whatever you have read, and I also read this story in the Wire, whatever that captain had read, and also it's also cowbell, mobilization. These are also fancy words, Prandipa. Whenever a standard operating procedure is drafted by the committee, there are secretaries to government of Gujarat and also the state government officials with the input from the intelligence. They might have got some sort of tip from the phone conversation across the border. So therefore, there are efforts. SOP is to be respected, whether beard or not. My point is, let them go to the court. Let them go to, for that matter, let them go to court.
Okay, so the police officials say that minors who are vulnerable can be saved. They can go into terror networks. Professor Atikur Rahman, do you agree? Because the police say that the only idea is to ensure that the vulnerable people are protected. And this is just a way of checking extremism or terrorism in the state.
So things are so clear, Pratibha. See, every point you read about the SOPs is, related to Muslims. Suddenly growing the beard, talking in Arabic, having some international issues, opinions about issues. Because there are a host of problems going in West Asia. What exactly is the Gujarat police aiming to do? And see, Mr. Rajagopalan is so evasive in his answers. He is not directly answering your question. In the same manner, Pratibha, you and me, if we are sitting and discussing this particular radicalization problem, I would say, people like Ramesh Pituri, who, use, slur language against fellow Muslim parliamentarians, those sort of people will be on the list of this. People like Anurag Thakur, people like, the Bengal Chief Minister, Sunil Goyal, who said that I will not be voting for the Muslims because they are the voters of, are they not radicalized? So these things only can be done if a serious mind is applied and a panel is made from both the communities, or a multicultural attitude should be given to this. I accept that radicalization of the youth is going on and it's a serious problem. But in this ugly fashion, if you are moving, it will be a dead end.
Okay, so Momita Chakrabarti, in a state where Muslims say that they have been marginalized, such a vague checklist is only going to make it worse. As Professor Atikur Rahman is saying as well, that some of the mentions in the SOPs make it clear that there can be a target of Muslims, and that's the reason why there are concerns around it.
Well, Pratibha, am I audible, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I want to start with this feature.
Cemented in Italy. I'm Giorgia Meloni. I'm Christian. I'm a daughter of Italy. We won't allow Sharia law to be implemented in Italy.
Well,
I'm Giorgia Meloni.
see,
Okay.
it's not about Gujarat. I mean, I believe that everybody could hear this. It's all about now, it is a global issue. Because why you ask me, I'll say not only Gujarat it's not only about Gujarat or India. It's about, see, the whole universe is against, I don't know why with this particular, against this community, because Italy is trying to prohibit this Sharia law to be implemented there. Just a couple of days back, we have seen Denmark is calling off Azan. So it actually came from the 9/11 in US, New York, and to Bombay terror attacks. So I will definitely not say every Muslim is terrorist or every Islamist is a terrorist, but yes, whosoever were seen to be involved with the terror activities, they belong to such community, definitely the question would arise. And also, if you ask me why Gujarat create this anti-radicalization cell, then UK's prevent strategy and several European countries have anti-radicalization programs that definitely identify individuals vulnerable to extremist ideologies and offer counseling to the intervention. If you remember, Pratibha, the UK's Prevent program, when it was created right after the terrorist attack in London to identify and intervene in radicalization early. So Gujarat has previously witnessed the terror threats and sleeper cell activities, and Gujarat has been a target of several terror plots and investigations over the years, including the 2008 Ahmedabad serial blast. Security agencies argues that proactive monitoring is definitely necessary to create a prevent model similar to other countries. So to improve the intelligence coordination, if the new cell aims to bring together the police, the intelligence agencies, cyber experts, the educational institutions, and the community leaders to share the information and detect the potential threats more effectively, then what is the problem?
Okay.
Even if the government, should I continue?
Yes, Professor Atikur Rahman, so the point being that there is a real issue of radicalization, and it happens often through silent networks, and we've seen that play out multiple times in the country as well. So what is the problem if anybody is able to identify this radicalization happening, whether it's on social media or otherwise?
Well said, Momita, well said. I agree to 100% agree to all your points. In the same manner, Momita, what I am asking you is, a person who is growing overnight beard, will you characterize that person to be a threat to the state? Because Muslim youth, from the beginning, as they grow beard, it's a sunnah. So in what manner will you categorize that this Muslim can become a terrorist? Secondly, I am just asking you a simple question. If a chief minister of the state says that I will be protecting a Hindu Dharam Guru because in the Dharam Sansad he calls for a genocide of all Muslims, will that person categorized as a radical element? Those SOPs which Pratibha read are pinpointing only one particular community. That's my problem. I do not deny that radicalization is an issue, is a serious issue, not only in India but internationally. But are these Hindu elements who are day in and day out calling for Muslims genocide, calling for Muslims to be, lynched, are they going to be included in this particular SOP or not?
Momita?
Properly, Pratibha, can you just summarize what sir has been sir has told right now?
So there is an
because the
issue
voice
of
was-
hate speech as well, and we're looking at radicalization, fine, but what about larger issues of hate speech? There have been statements that have been made. Is a government not going to look into that?
Well, so I would like to remind on that note, if we look back and if we go to history, you go to any country, sir, you go to any country, you will find the Christian is talking about themselves, the Muslim is talking about themselves, but whenever Hindus started raising their voice, they're entitled or they're titled as violent. As if this community, this Hindu people doesn't even have the right to talk about themselves, as if they do not have the right to raise their points, as if they do not have the right to talk against the terrorism. So it's, I mean, I would rather consider it as a freedom of speech. It's when I say it's a freedom of speech, definitely not humiliating any other community, but yes, if the violence starts with Allahu Akbar, if the violence starts with in the name of Allah, then definitely the other community will have the question. They will raise their voice. You just think is in the reverse wise. Suppose you are getting attacked by any particular community. You call about Hindu, you talk about Christian. So you will definitely not be quiet. You will also raise their voice. Problem is that till the time Hindus are here in India, every other single community is very safe and secure. And also I would like to remind, bahut saal pehle, it was Aurangzeb and also other kings who destroyed Somnath temple. That was also under part of Islamic invasion. Then coming to Puri Jagannath temple, that was also under the attack of Islamic threats and Islamic invasion. So every time we have found that Islamic invasion has been always a threat to our Indian culture, starting from the history to till the date. Then definitely people will raise their voice to save their kids.
No, but does it ignore hate speech or radicalization of any other kind? Is it directed towards one particular community?
See, that's why I'm trying to say, Pratibha, repeatedly that if any community is attacked by the people who belong to Islam community, then definitely people will talk about them. People will raise questions. People will be, raising their voice loud and clear against that community. Because every time you just check, you have the checklist of the names, then you find the names. You just go to the names. Every time it's something, I don't want to demean any community.
Okay, so let me bring in Tausif Ahmed Khan. The argument that has been made is that it borders Pakistan. There is a real threat, and it has been witnessed multiple times. Just today as well, there have been radicals, extremists who have been arrested, and that's the reason why the state government is trying to tackle it.
Well, this SOP brought by Gujarat police is a hate-filled religious profiling. There is element of discrimination. There is element of prejudice and a targeting on Muslim community. And for the last 15 minutes that your program is going on, the two panelists on your show, by their arguments, have even proved it. We heard one of the panelists saying that the whole world is against this one community, meaning the Muslim community. And very cutely, there a video is produced where the Italian Prime Minister is saying that they will not allow Sharia in Italy. So anyone who does not, who hates Muslim, they can very well go to Italy. Nobody is stopping them. Anyone who hates Muslim in India, they can go to Italy.
But this is not against the hate of Muslims. This is not about the hate of Muslims. Mr. Rajagopalan?
Muslims fought for independence of India that we live today. Muslims had a major role to play in the fight against the British. And Muslims will stay in this country. Anyone who hates Muslims,
Mr. Tausif Ahmed Khan, what has been mentioned very clearly is about the extremism. I'll ask you this, since there is so much criticism about say the appearance or the beard or niqab that has been mentioned, if all of that is removed, then would you say that it is a fair way of ensuring a crackdown on extremism? Then would you support it?
I would rather say that include provisions like a tika. Like Mr. Rajagopalan has tika on his forehead, include it. Just like you have included beard, that the professor is, that Professor Achimudevan has a beard. You have included the beard, then include the tika also.
I want to ask Pratibha, I want to ask Tausif, just come back.
Mr. Tausif Ahmed, Mr. Tausif.
On all areas.
Okay.
Radicalization in all communities.
Okay, let's take a response from Mr. Rajagopalan. So, Mr. Rajagopalan, though, in quite an inflammatory way, but what he means to say is that there are some tenets that Muslims are following. Whether these are unlawful or not, we know very clearly that it's not unlawful. So, why mention it? Can the same be said about another religion, or is a freedom being taken on making such claims about one certain religion, and that's why it becomes problematic? Mr. Rajagopalan, respond.
Yeah, absolutely. What you said is absolutely correct. But at the same time, former Chief Election Commissioner Qureshi, what did he write in his book? He said Dr. Manmohan Singh was, worried. He was wanting to do, crying that, Mr. Salman Khurshid, and also they are bringing 4% reservation in the bill. Therefore, the Election Commission was to have this type of coming out. whenever you take a Muslim name, you connect it to violence. My point is, SOP, which has been drafted by the state government, has got full of evidence. Let Tosif Rahman go to Supreme Court to cancel it. Why is he coming to this audience and debating that they have got a legal remedy? Why can't they go? He's a lawyer. He should go there.
Okay, and Mr. Tosif, there is one provision that also mentions the fact that there could be vulnerable people in the state who could be targeted when there are these changes that come in behavior. That is just one part of it. It also speaks about extremism. What the police say is that vulnerable individuals can be identified and then they can also be rehabilitated with education. Changes can be brought in. Is that a progressive way of looking at ensuring that not just is extremism tackled, but also the state government is taking a progressive step? What do you have to say when the Gujarat government says that is the intent behind this cell?
No, Gujarat police is lying. Gujarat government is lying. And I'll give an example from Bengal, Pratibha. 2 years ago, or about 3 years ago, there was a Ram Navami in Howrah procession. A 17-year-old boy was caught with a katta, desi katta. He came chanting Jai Shri Ram, and outside the mosque, they were playing DJ and there was violence. Howrah police caught him, arrested him along with the Desi Red Katta. Is that not radicalization? Is that not radicalization? Please tell me. Is that not
do not lie, Tausif. Do not lie. No. Do not lie. That is just a couple of meters away from my home. You cannot just lie.
Don't be blind. If you being selective, if you're targeting only one community, then you defeat the purpose of this. Your intention is in question. When you go against
and Tika was banned on Lenskart shop, then what was your stake? When Salman Khurshid has clearly and openly told after Batla House encounter, then what was your stake? You first state exam when Manishankar Nair went to Pakistan and seek for the help of Pakistan government to remove Modi government. What was your stake? No. Do not be so much, hyper that you have to lie continuously on a national television debate. Please do not do that.
There is a Hindu radicalization factory as well.
Okay. So, Mr. Rajagopalan, is it intended towards one particular religion? Again, we come back to the same point. Is it only intended towards Islamic extremism versus any other radicalization that could also be taking place?
Not at all. It is not like that. You must read it again and again. It has got legal feet. That is why they are issuing it. It has got political background. Now they are twisting. Tosif Rahman and Atiq Rahman are twisting that. My only simple point is, it has nothing to do with beard or Muslim community. What Mahmoud said is absolutely correct.
Okay. Professor Atikur Rahman?
Well, Pratibha, this one-sided approach of the Gujarat police have, laid bare the thinking of the Gujarat police, and we are missing something very important. Radicalization is a reality. By making it communal, having a communal approach and one-sided prejudiced approach will, fall flat in the court of law, as Mr. Rajagopalan is saying that go to the courts. It will fall flat, sir. We will be losing something very important. What the target of the Gujarat police and the government should how to de-radicalize our youth. You are missing something very important by making it communal and one-sided.
Okay. So the state government or the Gujarat police have the task at their hand. They know that it is their duty to tackle extremism. They know the challenge at hand. But you're saying that there are better ways to tackle the situation, better ways to ensure that extremism does not seep in, but it should not alienate one particular community. That's the point being made. We'll have to leave it at that. Of course, the debate around it continues on whether this is an extremist approach or whether this is the need of the hour. I'm thanking Mr. Rajagopalan, Momita, Tausif, as well as Professor Atikur Rahman for joining us on the debate. With that, we slip into a short break.